Hey guys, this is Amadou back with another video. Hope you all are doing good. Today is the 31st of August. It's currently 10:50 p.m. It's a Sunday, so I'm just, resting and just giving you a little bit of an update on how things are going. As far as work and the freelance project goes, I'm doing alright, I'm doing fine, I'm getting by. Actually, things are looking like they're moving forward, so potential to make more money, right? Which is always nice. And I would say, actually, this week I have had some pretty good news. Um, Apparently, a cold email client I was chasing after for a couple of months is gonna close. I mean, I still don't have the invoice paid and the contract signed, but it's gonna close. But it's gonna close. Of course, never assume anybody's gonna close until they pay, because they can always go back on their word. But I've been able to develop a relationship with them. I've been following up with them for months at this point. They already know how much I'm willing. I want to charge them. They're ready to pay the money. They already told me that they're ready to get started. So I'm excited for that. If that happens, that could be, man. That could be the start of that cold email agency I was thinking about starting like a year back, right? And which is great because this client came from a cold call that I did back in June, I think, which again renews in my head that the best way to get short-term clients, so the best way to do client acquisition in the short term, is probably cold outreach, cold calls specifically. Just so easy, right? If you call somebody at the time where they actually have a need for the type of service that you sell, and you get past their initial like resistance or objections, you gonna book the meeting. And if you do well on the meeting and you position yourself properly, you provide the reason why investing with you is gonna bring them a significant return, and they actually need what they would invest, uh, what you're gonna do for them, what you're gonna give them, there's no reason why they shouldn't sign. And even if maybe there isn't that much of a, even if they don't have like that much trust in you yet, I mean, obviously you build that during the call, but if your offer is good enough and you present yourself in a certain way, there's no reason why they shouldn't sign other than like their internal like objections, right? And that's why you're there, to break them. Okay, so I'm excited for that for sure. Also, something I've realized just today actually is that in this day and age, probably, unless you're trying to do the whole dopamine detox, not using a phone ever, not consuming any type of content ever, and all of that, the one of the most impacting factors when it comes to what type of person you'll be, and basically what you think about and what your personality is like, is basically just the content you consume. I vividly can vividly say this with some level of confidence, at least, that I am a very different person. Uh, Not very different, but there's definite like my train of thoughts is very different compared depending on which content I'm currently consuming. So, for example, I vividly remember when I was consuming a lot of like Hamza content. If you know Hamza Ahmed, he's like this huge self improvement guy on YouTube, probably one of the biggest ones for like young men. And I remember like a couple years back, I was like always watching Hamza, always listening to him, and all of that. And as a result of that, I was really like thinking about self improvement and all of that. Was taking the cold showers in the winter, right? Which, if I have to be honest, I mean, it's not nothing like crazy, right? But for like the entirety of the winter up until like the start of spring, I was taking a cold shower every morning. Literally every morning, I would wake up, get out of bed, take my take my towel with me, boom, cold shower in the winter. Like, and I hate the cold. Right, like I literally hate it. I'm African, man. I literally hated the cold, and I still did it because I was so into the self improvement, like building your discipline, all of that. Because I was watching Hamza all the time, and when I started watching Charlie Morgan, guess what? I got into the whole like client acquisition, outreach, wall of fire. I don't remember how he called it, something like that. Trial by fire, right? If you watch that video, like I think it was like 3 hour video or something like that, regarding like going through pain and all of that, and psychological things, tips and tricks, cognitive biases, all of that. And I was really into all of that, right? And that kind of like shaped the way I saw things. And the same went from when I was watching a lot of like Daniel Fazio content, right? And actually it's funny because before watching Daniel Fazio, I watched like a South African guy named like Suleiman Boda. And shout out to that guy. Like that guy is a real one, not because of um, what he sells or anything like that, but just because like watching his content put me onto Twitter, which later put me onto Daniel Fazio, which opened up a whole lot of opportunities for me. Like so many opportunities have they've come to me thanks to Twitter, and all of this happened because I watched one of the videos that popped up from Suleiman Bada at a random ass time. I watched it. I was like, oh, like this guy is like 3 steps ahead of me, right? That's interesting. Let's see if what he says is real. I checked his Twitter profile and he had the amount of followers he said he had. He had that level of engagement, and that brought him that level of like results. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start my Twitter profile as well. I start my Twitter, and I follow his advice. Then I find out about Daniel Fazio. I follow his advice. My Twitter starts growing. I start getting inbound opportunities for coaching calls, consulting calls, and I eventually get my first like freelance client sourced out of Upwork or anything like that for like client acquisition, right? And that came from Twitter, and that happened because I was listening Daniel Fazio. I was listening to his content. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you're gonna be online, if you're gonna be consuming content online, just brainwash yourself, right? Whatever you're watching, whatever content you're consuming, it's gonna shape the way you see things, at least in the short term. Obviously, it's not gonna make you a different person, but it's gonna have an impact from that perspective. And when you look at things like that, I would say that allowing yourself to be brainwashed by the type of people that you aspire to be is going to help you greatly. Now, don't go on the internet, start watching a guru, see that he has a course and like get into his funnel and everything, unless that's what you want to do, or you want to have like a one-on-one relationship with him, or something like that, right? But yeah, unless you want to do that. But be picky with the type of content you consume, right? It's so easy to like go on the internet and you start consuming somebody's content, and that kind of like makes you look at the world differently. And that's a real thing because, sorry, I'm a little bit sick today. I don't know what's going on. But, anyways, doing that is gonna shape the way you see things. And if you don't see how this could completely change your life, I mean, I don't know how to help you, man. If I have, and truly being honest, right? I mean, I'm not special, although I'm making a little bit of money. Like, I would say I'm making the average amount of money that, right now, I'm making the average amount of money that somebody in like Northern Europe would make. No, not Northern. The average amount of money that a European guy in his uh, peak years would be making in Europe, like Germany, Italy, maybe not UK, but it's definitely like Germany, these type of countries, right? Germany, France, Italy. Like I'm making that level of money right now, and I'm 23 years old, so that's not that bad. But the only reason I'm here is that I've consumed content of people smarter than me, that had different ideas than me, different paradigms, and I allowed myself to be brainwashed by them. And now you say this, you're just speaking bullshit. But the thing is, as soon as I start watching their content, then all of a sudden, all of the like positive influence that they've had on me disappeared. As soon as I stopped watching Daniel Fazio and Suleiman Bada and other people regarding Twitter, I stopped posting on Twitter. I'm still kind of reaping some of the benefits from it, right? But because I still get so many inbound opportunities from Twitter, but I'm imagining if I kept consistent on it, I'd have like 2, 3, 4K followers at this point. So many more opportunities. It would bring in a whole stream of income by itself, just with maybe like coaching calls and things like that, right? Also, the reason why I'm starting to use YouTube channel, just to have like, it's an asset, okay? So have documenting my journey is gonna be an asset. Maybe not like in 3 6 months, but like 2 3 5 years from now, I can look back and see exactly how I was living, right? And what was the stuff that was going on. It is gonna be an asset. It's gonna bring me credibility, and it's gonna bring like it's also a traffic source, so people actually get to know me through this. So you know that's also a thing, right? And the reason why I started making YouTube videos is because I saw this guy on YouTube called Bispav. He was making YouTube videos over over Call of Duty uh, playthroughs. He will make like 10 15 minute videos over Call of Duty playthroughs, and he will explain things about YouTube. And I was like, holy shit, like this guy is making this type of videos with this little amount of like effort, so to say. What's been stopping me to make videos all this time? So here I am. Basically, the moral of the story is be careful who you listen to on the internet. They're going to influence the way you think, one way or another. If you listen to a lot of like conservative people talk on the internet, you're gonna think like them. If you listen to Andrew Tate a lot, you're gonna start thinking like him. If you listen to Fresh and Fit, you're gonna think like them. If you listen to Albert and Preach, you're gonna think like them. If you listen to, because it's just how it works, right? Listen to the people you want to be like, and don't stop listening to them, because think about it. When you're watching content, you're basically simulating a real life conversation, only it's a one-way conversation. You're basically filling your brain with other people's train of thought, and other people's like how other people see the things and how other people think. If that other person has something that you do want, why wouldn't you want that infiltrating your brain temporarily, just so you figure out how he got what you want? You get what you want, and then you move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I think that's about it for today. I don't have anything else. Also, I will never stop stressing this enough. Invest in your PC, invest in your assets, invest in your production capability. That's the most important thing that you can do at any given time. The moment you stop is the moment results will stop coming. It's not gonna be an instant. Like you're gonna stop, and then for some months you're still gonna see the results from your previous work, but then all of a sudden shit's gonna go downhill, and then you're really fucked. Well, great talking to y'all today, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace.